Okay, how would you like to be able to take your Fitbit from looking like this, or your watch, all these scratches, to this, looking like almost brand new? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that today. So this works on your Fitbit or watch, but it just has to have a plastic screen. You could even scale this up for larger screens. And you can see some of these scratches are really deep. I mean, deep enough they catch my fingernail. So remember, the main thing is it's got to have a plastic screen. This does not work if you've got a watch or whatever with a glass screen on it. So start by taking the band off. Remove anything you can from the device just because you are going to be using some abrasives. We're going to start with 400 grit sandpaper. You could start with maybe 600, but for these scratches I have, they're pretty deep. So I'm starting with 400 and I'm going to wet sand it. If you're not familiar with that, basically just dip the sandpaper in some water. It just needs to be wet. And I'm going to sand it with this 400 grit sandpaper until all of the deep scratches are gone. Now the screen's going to look way worse because there's going to be a lot of fine scratches. You see how fuzzy and blurry it is? That's fine. You just have to keep going until all the deep scratches are gone, whatever that might take. And be careful not to, damage any other parts of it. You don't want to be, sanding the edges or anything. So once you get there, yeah, it may help frequently to kind of rinse it off as well. So be careful if you have a device that isn't waterproof. You'll have to use a cloth to wipe it instead. So once you can wipe it off and you see your scratches, your deep scratches are gone, and all the scratches, it just kind of looks fuzzy like this. They're all similar. Basically all the scratches look the same. So now we're going to move up to something a little less abrasive. I'm going with 1000 grit sandpaper, and we're going to do the same thing again. And there's not a hard set rule. You got to use this sandpaper and then this sandpaper and then this sandpaper. So the different versions I'm using today, they work. I've proven that, but some other ones would as well. And you see after 1000 grit sandpaper, the scratches are a little bit finer, but no real difference. Screen still looks pretty bad at this point. You can barely even tell that says elliptical, but the deep scratches are gone. And now we're going to 2000 grit sandpaper. Now the final or next to final step on this one, the compound I'm going to be using, it can actually basically polish out anything 1200 grit sandpaper or better. So we're just going to be rubbing out basically 2000 grit sandpaper scratches, so it'll work just fine. So here's what it looks like after sanding with the 2000 grit. And basically what you're looking for, it's going to be, it should look a little clear, but still pretty fuzzy overall. So now that you have that done, I'm using this Meguiar's compound, and like I said, the Meguiar's can actually buff out scratches of a 1200 grit sandpaper or higher, and so we use 2000. So now I'm just buffing it out, rubbing it with this rubbing compound, and you could even do polishing compound after this. I did not find the need to do that. I was prepared to, but I didn't find the need to. No sense in doing any more work than you have to. So keep doing this until it's actually going to look pretty decent after this. You'll almost feel like you're done, but you're not. We're going to do a final step. So take a look at this. This is just after the rubbing compound. You can even read the screen now. The deep scratches are gone. The screen looks pretty good. It looks better than it did before we started, and we're not even finished. So the last step I'm going to do, and there's two different ways I recommend you do it. You can either pick you up a can of this Rust-Oleum, basically clear enamel, or if you happen to have one of these Sylvania headlight repairs, they always include way too much of the final coat, the coating that you put on your headlight lenses. Either one of these work equally well. I actually have used both in different videos I have on YouTube now for this almost same purpose. So you can either pick up some Rust-Oleum, a can of that, maybe $4, or if you have some of this laying around, use it. I wouldn't pay $20 for the Sylvania headlight repair kit just to repair my watch screen, but maybe it's worth it to you. I just like the Sylvania one because it dries much harder, and it's going to resist scratches better than the Rust-Oleum. So I'm just going to either spray the Rust-Oleum on, or you saw I just wiped this on, and then I'm going to let it dry. And then once it's dry, take a look at this. This is the final result. You've got a almost completely repaired Fitbit or watch screen. It looks amazing. It looks almost like it did when it's brand new. And you didn't have to pay someone to restore it. A lot of places do have machines that restore these. They work off very similar principles. They just remove a lot of the work that you have to do. So I really hope this helps. If it does, please like, please subscribe, comment below if you have any questions or if I can help in any way. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.